This thing isn't a shark.
You think what?
This thing isn't a shark.
I hear. Oh, no, I guess it's that sound. Yes, okay.
Alicia, what is the significance of having a radio station that's 50 years old?
Wow.
Well, life for me began in the fields of the Central Valley. My dad worked in the farm, and he often got jobs with contractors who were unscrupulous in terms of protecting the health and well-being of the workers. They basically wanted mules to do the work. And so at the age of 12 and 13 years old, I learned to use a short-handled hoe, thinning sugar beets and cotton in the Central Valley. And it's something you don't forget for the rest of your life. We were bent over for so long, such a period of time, that the back muscles on my back would actually become numb when I tried to straighten out. So it became very apparent to us that we were basically implements of labor.
Let me just say that I view KBBF just like you and I. And for me, for us to live, to reach the age of 50 is a big significance, in our lifetimes, and so, because, we've gone through some hardships individually as human beings, right? But KBBF has equally gone through so many hardships, failures, almost to a point of a brink of not even knowing. We knew about 10 years ago, no, 12 years ago, we didn't even know that it was going to make it. I think we always have to just follow our vision, right? Why was KBBF formed? What was the purpose of KBBF?
You got to understand that migrant farm workers went by the name of mojados, wetbacks, alambrados. There were some of us being called as fruit tramps. Mm. So you can see that the stigma of that definition was one that was very, very damaging to the psychological profile of a young Mexican American.
What it wanted to do was to give power to a group of people that spoke Spanish, to honor their language, to honor their culture, to honor their experience.
We were voiceless, we were obscure, we were non-existent people. So we needed to, if nothing else, have the hope of allowing their radio airwaves to communicate our issues and concerns broadly to a community that heretofore had been basically non-existent. And so they became very important. And I remember that the very beginning talks were out of the CRLA office in Healdsburg, where community members got together and said, we really do need to put together a radio station so that we can communicate in our language and in our customs and in our cultural traditions the needs of our community.
And that became the vision of KBBF, and that was to create a multilingual voice that engages and empowers the community to be involved in social justice, for peace, for equality, to try to help each other, to deal so much right now, especially with the issue that of the climate, the climate change. That's what's going on. Our whole planet is getting destroyed. We have to come together and figure out how to best do it. And I think that as long as KBBF continues on that vision of really empowering the people to make decisions for themselves through the celebration of their language, the celebration of their culture, the celebration of their experiences, I think we're going to be in a wonderful place. Talking about climate change, this is so critical. We cannot tell, what kind of weather is going to hit our antenna that's up on Mount St. Helena. There's our transmitters, our antennas are up there. We just recently had it at the beginning of this year. We ended up having completely our antennas frozen. There was so much ice and it was so cold out there that they literally was covered with snow. Can you imagine snow here, in Napa County, in Sonoma County? It was amazing, but we have pictures of that. We have also, what it did is that even before that, we also had some ice. It was frozen ice that just completely broke when the sun came down a little bit and just completely wiped out two of our antennas. This last time, our engineer is the one that sent us, when we were down and he couldn't climb the antenna, he showed us how he was stopped because it was full of snow up there. So he couldn't get to even go and fix our antennas. In the past, he has done it and he's gotten stuck over there. And then he had to get a helicopter to take him out of there. And I told him, nope, there's no way we can afford a helicopter. So forget it. We're just going to have to be off the air until the sun comes and melts the snow and the ice. So yeah, that's infrastructure that is so critical. That's what makes us be able to broadcast every single day. When the founders founded the Bilingual Broadcasting Foundation in 1971, all those students, community workers, farm workers, Anglo community members, all of them who had this dream of really empowering people who had been neglected or had been felt shame because they spoke Spanish.
The medium of radio communication in our community is extremely important. I remember the days when my mom used to have these little transistor radios, and she'd be trying to dial in some music, trying to dial in some entertainment, try to dial in some way to cheer up the poverty could literally eat you alive, but you had to overcome that, and music and sound and communication to and fro was that element that kept us alive. Not only informed, but it kept us alive.
We fulfilled the dreams of the founders. All of us, every single one who has come through here has put that little grain of just their talent, their time, their money, from donors to volunteers to programmers to board of directors. All of them have put their little bit to make this 50 years possible in the life of an incredible community and trusted institution in our community, and it serves our community. That's why we're the voice of your community, because it can mean whatever that means to you. We are the voice of your community, and I'm proud to say that we made it to 50 years, and I hope we make it 50 more years. I get so emotional. I mean, I don't know. I feel like a blah, blah, blah. But I hope now it's going to give you so much to edit.
I don't think I'm going to need anything
Oh,
else.
my God. Oh, my God. No, I just cut my part.
Let me make sure this...
Go. No, and then you're going to go. No.